Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. You are welcome back from the break.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank
Good
you,
afternoon, sir.
Lucy. Thank you, everybody, for welcome for the afternoon sections and the final section. After now, it has to be face-to-face where we will make a revision and address some areas of the concern. I don't know. The class is living up to have 17 have joined. You know, I will start because I want to demonstrate something like what I was saying using that statistical package. So 19 of us that are available, you'll be the one to benefit. Julie, you're welcome. Juliet, welcome from Bray. Okay, we are making progress. We are making progress. Right? Now, this might be faint. This might be faint in a way. Good. I'm told that you can see my application. Can we
Yeah,
see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We can
sir.
see.
Okay. Like the data that I imported the other time that has to do with rice output, you know, government expenditure, inflation rate, interest rate, money supply, and exchange rate. I was talking about a descriptive statistics the other time, getting the mean and standard deviation of your data of those variables. Like now, the data I have before, if I want to know the standard deviations and you know the minimum and the maximum of this one. If I say sum, you know, then this one is covering me, you know. I don't know what I will do to take this one up, you know, so that this will go up. Right. See here, my screen has gone. I want us to see this. Let me. Oh, what I want to do. This was not giving me passage. I want to go out. So go out of here. Show, minimize. Good. Now, if I want, I hope you can see the screen, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. We're all seeing.
Yes, sir.
If I put this, I want to get the average. The average of this. This is the sum. If I give this is, I have here to sum expenditure, exchange, money supply, interest rate, inflation rate, and rice output. If I enter, look at this. This is the result that I have. Now, the data from that 1981 to 2016 is how many years? 36 years. This is the observation. This one is like what? My sample size. You see where my cursor is touching, right? This is the sample size, right? Now, this 29 here, it tells me that how many? I have data that is missing for like 7 years for rice output because all the observations are what 36. This is expenditure, this is exchange rate, this is money supply, this is interest, and this is what? Inflation rate. Now, if you come here, this is what I was talking about. This is the mean. The mean of public expenditure, government expenditure from that 1981 to 2016. Exchange rate, this is the mean. Money supply, this one is the mean. Interest rate, this is the mean. Inflation rate, this is the mean. And then price output, this is the mean. Then I thought of a standard deviation the other time. Mean is the average. Look at this. Standard deviation tells you the extent to which the observation, this is public expenditure, deviates from the mean. Look at it. This is mean. And look at the deviation. This is 1,536. deviation 1,873. Relatively, the difference is not much, or that. Now, look at that of exchange, 77 point to 73. This was saying how far, how close is this to the mean. This is standard deviation for money supply. Look at this, 6,397 and then 1,083. And this is the interest. This shows that of all this, interest rate has the widest deviation from the mean. Mean of 21 and then standard deviation is what? 5. Then inflation rate 17 and what? 19.6. This one, when you run the analysis, it also gives you the minimum value and the maximum value. Now, minimum is 5.4, this one maximums, based on this statistical report. Now, this is descriptive statistics. I will also want to do how these variables, well, let's say expenditure, exchange rate, money supply, interest rates, affects price output for this period, that I'm talking about. So what I do, I will use impression statistics. If I say regress, that is regression. The importance is that you type this in. If not, if you say you pick it from, there's a tendency that there might be mistake, right? Now, if the dependent variable is always the first. This is price output, inflation, interest, money supply, exchange rate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I click enter, hello, can you see the screen?
We all see.
See,
Good.
sir.
Look at this now. I want to see how inflation, interest rate, money supply, and exchange rate influence the output of price for the periods of 1981 to 2006. This is the result. This is what we mean by regression. See, the number of observations is 29 because some variables are missing. This is the probability value, F statistics. This one tells me F statistics is highly significant, 0.0000. Okay, look at this one. We call it what? R squared, coefficients of a multiple determination, which is 0.91. This one tells me that this variable that I put, for 1, 2, we're able to explain 91% variation. They were able to account for 91% of the reason for the output of price. This one is adjusted R. Adjusted R squared, adjusted R. You said it's a punishment, and if you in econometrics, this adjusted R must always be lower than what your real R squared. Right. If you come here, hello, these are what we call the coefficients. Between inflation rate and rise up relation between interest and rise up inflation between money supply and rise up relationship exchange rate and what price output. And this one tells you this signs here can either be positive or negative. So this one tells us that that all this will have positive relationship with what price output. And this one, interest rate significant, money supply significant, exchange rate what is significant. So this was what inflation statistics. So with this, I can conclude that these variables, this monetary policy, have what great effect on what price output. I can use this data for a whole lot of things. But remember, this data, what I'm using here is what is secondary data. Is in existence. I didn't work for them. I got this data from National Bureau. And before I even have to come this, there are other checks that I need to carry out, which I said the other time, like testing for the stationarity, of this that I have to make them stationary. So that is, by the way, that is not just for your consumption. You know, if I say something here, if I say browse, you see another feed. You see, this is the data. Remember that time, you see that the right output, the values were not complete. This one is missing. Like 1990 value is missing, 1991 value is missing, 1998 value is missing, 2008 value is missing, 2010 value is missing. That was why you see the other side that price
Very
has
complicated
29
topic.
observation. Are we together? This one is just by the way, I will stop sharing for now so that I will go to the main
Later.
slide. Who is talking? Okay. Let's be together. Can we see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Good. I was talking
Yeah,
about
the screen is on.
eh? Can we see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes, sir, we
Okay,
can
thank
see.
you. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic. Mute your mic. This one, mute your mic. I don't know who is that. Mute your mic. Bala,
Abu Ben, Ibrahim, mute your
Desmond,
mic.
please mute your mic. Let's be together because I have 45 minutes now to rush this so that we can close. We are talking of where you have a score that has to do with a wide range of value. You know, where you have a proof frequency table, whereby you have a rate. That was the point we closed. Look at this now.
Marco.
No, she's traveling.
Who is interfering now? Umar.
Working on
Hey, Ruma. Patrick Uto.
Zoom meeting. Mute your mic. Okay, Joe. Yes.
Patrick, what is that? Patrick, what is that with the shackle and mute your mic now. Patrick Uto. Or Uto. Now, I was talking of a group frequency, like what you have here on the table. You see 241, 260, frequency 1. This one might be the, its core or so. This is the frequency for each of them. When you talk of modal class, you know that the group of the class 181 to 200 is what is the modal class. And I said before it closed that the lower class interval and the upper class interval of the previous class and the subsequent class has to agree. It has to be the same value. Difference between 260 and 240 is 20. Difference between 241 and 221 is what? 20. Also done like that. Now, okay. Now, we talk of the distribution shapes. When the distribution of a quantitative variable is displayed in a histogram, it will have a shape. It may be a peak that may be somewhere near the middle of the distribution. It may have a tail, that may move in either direction. You have a distribution that might be, unimodal, meaning it has one distinct peak, only one peak, and you may have a distribution that may be bimodal. Bi means two. We're going to see in figure 2, which is unimodal, and figure 3, which is bimodal. In figure 3, what we're going to see is that it has two distinct peaks. You can also have multiple peaks, but these ones, they are They are very rare in social, research work. Now, this is what unimodal distribution with one peak. Look at this. This color with a purple, is so these are what hypothetical data. And this hypothetical data, it talks about self-esteem. Somebody's self-esteem, the extent to which you show vibrancy, the extent of your composure, having self-confidence, to what extent. Look at this one, 15, 0 people, have this 16, 2, 18 is like 3, 19, like that. But you overall, we see a peak here. This is what unimodal distribution. Now, when you come here, this is a hypothetical bimodal distribution. Why do we say hypothetical? Hypothetical in the sense that it's not a data actually that we collected, but it's just an imagination that these words do be. Now, if you look at here, what do you have? You have a range. You have a range of distribution 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, and then 60. This one, you have two peak. Look at one here, with this color, purple, and this one, brown, light brown or so, or whatever color. Look at this. This is what bimodal. So it's possible in your distribution that you have this. Now, also, another characteristic of the shape of the distribution is whether it is symmetrical, or whether it is skewed. Now, if you look at what we call the normal distribution, the normal distribution is like a bell shape. Remember your bell curve in your statistics, even in economics, geometric economics, that is also is done distribution. The distribution in the center is symmetrical. When it is symmetrical, that is normal curve. It means what is on the left-hand side is the same thing with what is on the left-hand side. We call it normal distribution. Let's see, this is what we are talking about. Look at this. I'll still go back to another one. This is what normal distribution. Can you see? This is the peak you have here on the left, and you have here on the right. The distribution is normal distribution, right? You can also have, the distribution that is negatively skewed. At times, we say the selection, the employment is skewed. That is shifted toward one direction, shifted toward one ethnic group, shifted toward one zone, shifted toward one religion or so. When we say it's negatively skewed, it means that its peak shifted toward the upper end of its range, and then what relatively long with negative tail. In statistics, we call it plateaucotic. This is what we're talking about. You see this one, it tilts to the left. Unlike this one that has normal distribution. This one is skewed, negatively skewed. This skewness, this tilt or this shift, it can be positive or it can be negative.
Tell me 1 liter.
Rosemary, mute your mic.
The one of
Rosemary, Edu, mute your mic. Edu, Rosemary, mute your mic. You are interfering. So, Lucy, you are talking. Now, so we say this one is negatively skewed to the left, negatively skewed. And again, we can also have a distribution that's tilted towards right. And this time we say positively skewed. What happened here? they peak toward the lower end of its range and are relatively long with a long positive tail. We call leptocotic. Lepto. To the left is now. Yes, yes. Leptocotic. Oh, this thing go now. Go, 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 go. This is what we are saying. You see, this one, the skew is to my right. This one, the skew is to my left. This one is what? Symmetrical. This is what? Normal distribution. One side of the left is equivalent to one side of the right. But here, one side of the right is different, is longer than one side of the left. Yet negatively skewed, one side of the left is longer than one side of the right. Employment can be skewed. It can be skewed now or to the advantage of one tribe. You can say to that tribe is positively skewed towards that tribe. It can be positively skewed, towards a particular religion. It can be positively skewed towards a particular state. And then the other states or religions or tribe, it means the distribution is what? Negatively skewed towards them. And these are all shapes of what? Distribution. Okay, now we move on. Then we talk of a dispersion. What do you mean by dispersion? I mentioned this the other time, which has to do with the spread around what? The central tendency. We say how tightly, how widely are the values clusters around the mean? Are the values so dispersed from the mean? Do they cluster to the mean?
No.
And the two common measures that we use is called what? The range and the standard deviation. I don't know what is on the chat box. Francis, can you see what is on the chat box and tell me what is the message on the chat box? Who can read the message there at the chat? Okay, nobody is talking.
The last chat was the.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
No problem. I've had the message. Thank you. It's Rosemary apologizing, and then
Sorry,
somebody.
sir.
It's quantitative
I was a bit far from my phone to unmute myself, sir.
No problem. You are forgiven. You go home and sin no more. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You see, so we have the range and what standard deviation. The range is between the highest and what lowest value in the distribution. Supposing I give us a test, which is likely out of how many are you? You are 42 or 43. I don't know the number in the class. And the highest person in that class, let's say the test is over 30, over 40. Your assessment is always over 40. Is MSC or is it 30? I don't know. Let's say over 30. And then the highest in the class score what? 28. And the lowest in the class score what? 12 over 30. So what is the range? The range of the distribution is what? The range of the distribution is going to be what? 16, right? That is the difference between the highest and lowest value in a distribution. As time is important for us to know the range to see how far is the highest from the lowest. We have an example before. I say by that because the highest figure was 36, while the lowest is 15. So the range of the distribution is what? 21, right? Now, we talk of bivariate. 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 When you talk of bi is two. That is two variables. Hello? This one examines how two variables are related to each other. How two variables are related to each other. Whether antidepressant medications is related to appetite. Whether there's a relationship between weight and emotional well-being. Whether educational attainment is related to income, or says a policymaker's level of education is related to how they vote on bills related to environmental issues. I can also ask whether there is a relationship between wealth, somebody that is rich, being rich, being wealthy, and happiness, or having joy. Let me ask, is there a relationship between having money and then having, or being happy? Relationship between somebody, they responded having money and then being happy. Is there a relationship?
There is. There is.
Francis, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, can I ask
Yes,
put
sir.
in another way?
Yes, sir.
Does having money, does it bring happiness? Is there a
Yes.
relationship that
All depends.
Yes.
Yes, sir. It does. But then there is a diminishing marginal return.
So there's a point that you have money and you no longer be happy.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
If money truly bring happiness, how about millionaires in advanced countries in the US and the rest of them that commit suicide? Have you not heard before of a millionaire that commits suicide? Money might not necessarily bring happiness. It may or it may not. Yes, if money at all, the money does. These millionaires, some of them would have committed suicide. And again, see, is there a relationship between a beautiful lady and a good character? Is it guaranteed that a lady that is beautiful must have a good character? Is there a relationship?
No.
No, sir.
Capital no.
Be beautiful, boy. Character.
Neither is it guaranteed that if you are ugly, then you have a good character.
Exactly.
Let me come from this background. A beautiful lady will have character.
Okay.
It's either it will be good or bad.
And again, when we talk about beauty,
I qualify it. I say good character. I didn't say character. Everybody has character. Whether it is good or bad, I qualify it as a good character.
Sir, you see, I think personally, I will look at it that good character depends on an individual. Because what I may look at as good, another person may not look at it as good.
Exactly.
Let me give an example.
Okay, sorry. But if you are good, you are good. If you are good, you are good. The whole world we know.
Yeah, we are talking about moral standard.
Let me just give this example.
And we are talking about values that are generally accepted.
We are talking about values that are generally accepted. That is very correct.
Yes.
But you also understand that no matter what the kind of value that you may have that is generally accepted, the other person might look at it in a negative way. Okay, let's look at lesbianism, for instance. When countries accept that as a way of life, do we in Nigeria accept it? The answer is no. So by the time we begin to say it's a general way of life and everything is being accepted and anything that is accepted then is accepted, If I say my wife should wear trousers, another person may say no, he doesn't want the wife to wear trousers. Well, let's accept that the trouser is meant for everybody to wear. So I think it depends on an individual to be able to judge the character of anybody at all, to be accepted as good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Aliu said that most beautiful ladies don't have good character. Aliu.
This is a research class. Aliu, did you carry out any research?
Okay, exactly. This is research. Aliu, have you carried out that research to establish that most beautiful ladies don't have good character? You know? So, well, it's a research, but it don't be part of this work. It's a research for somebody to find out and establish that. Then we will build on it. Stay so. Yes, stay so. Okay.
No,
Let's
when
move.
you're talking about, hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm
When you were
hearing
talking
you.
about when you are talking about good character, every character has its own way of governing it. So we cannot judge good character based on people's perception. Are you hearing me?
But generally, people will have to see. Stay so. If you are good, you are good. Honestly speaking, if you are good, you are good.
Sure.
That's what
You know, there's a saying that action speaks louder than words. Is that not?
That's
You
correct.
don't need to hide it.
That's
The
correct.
world we see, your neighbor will see it. Any
That's very
person
correct.
within your vicinity will know
Yeah.
that if you are good, you are good. You know, and
That
the
is
impression that you create on somebody will also make that person to conclude. Hello.
sir, excuse me, there's no way a woman can hide the pregnancy. When a woman is pregnant, sir, you can relate it to a woman that is pregnant. When a woman is pregnant, definitely you know that this woman is pregnant. So when somebody is good, you will know. There's no way
Yes.
you fake it. You don't fake
Character.
bad attitude. You don't
Good
fake
or
it.
bad character can never be hidden.
Yes.
It's like a smoke. It will come
It's
out.
just like
Yes.
it's like a
Now,
pregnancy.
let's move on. Time is going. Let's move on, please. And again, educational attainment, we know is also related to what? Income. Level of education and also the school that that children attend is also a dependable factor on the income of their parents or so. Yes, we see that in our society today, you know. Now, then we go again, another interesting one, we touched a part of it, that is a correlation. I don't know, can this person mute his mic? Yes, so can you mute your mic? Time is running. Please, I have 23 minutes and I still have some slides. Please mute your mic ahead. Let me be doing the talking now. We can discuss maybe at the end. Now, we talk of correlation. What is a correlation? It's a relationship between two variables in which their values change works together. You know, we said correlation is not causation. And then be mindful of what spurious relationship correlations. Like what we are saying about a beautiful lady and having a good character. At times people can pretend, but there is a limit to which you can pretend. What is in you is like a smoke. It will certainly come out. It can never be hidden. You know, when you pretend to be somebody, when indeed, I don't know whether it's for show, is for sake of acting a drama or so, in no time, the true color of that is will come out. So what is the relationship between the variables? Like we said the other time, having a good wife and a good character, you know, after all, beauty is in the eyes of beholders, so it depends. Yes, it depends on who is beholding the person that is beautiful or is not beautiful. Then educational attainment is the function of your income. Your living conditions, standard of living also dependent on your income. Because what you don't have, you can't give. The school that people are saying the performance of the student is also a function of the quality of education they receive. We say correlations are useful starting point for all data analysis projects. The correlation will depict what we call the strength. That is the magnitude, the strength of the relationship, the direction of the relationship. Now, we know from our elementary economics what the law of demand says. What is the law of demand? Who can tell me the law of demand? One person or so that there be no interference. The law of demand. If you're a student of economics, the law of demand, who can study for me? Briefly. Law of demand.
Sir?
Yes? Law
Okay,
of
the
demand.
law of demand, it says that
The higher the demand.
the
When
higher
demand
the
increases,
demand.
the price will increase.
Okay.
The higher the price, the lower the demand.
Thank you, Bala. The higher the price, the lower the quantity that will be demanded. That tells you that demand and price, they have correlation. And the direction of that correlation is what? Negative. That if one is high, the other one will be what? Low. Then the strength of the correlation is what we don't know. And when we talk of the strength of correlation in respect of demand and price, then we talk of what? Elasticity. Elasticity. And that is what? The degree of responsiveness. How responsive the demand is to the price. And that response can be vast. Is it unitary? That is the same percentage change in price will lead to the same percentage change in demand. That is what? Unitary elasticity. Or is it that if there's a slight change in price, it leads to more than proportionate change in demand? That is elastic, very elastic. And if at all a change in price lead to small or minus change in demand, we say it is what? Inelastic. If you look at it, agricultural produce, those categories, their demand is what? Is inelastic because of the necessity. So there's a relationship. So what we're saying that the strength for agricultural produce, because that they are necessary in all things, the demand will not change all that, even if the price what? Increases. So it's important we know the magnitude tells you the strength, and the strength of correlation is from -1 to +1. It can be 0.10, please. It can be minus. When there is minus, it means there's what? Inverse. Negative. That's as one increases, the other one what? Decreases. It might be positive. That's the move in the same direction. Positive here doesn't really mean that one is it can be negative, all of them negative together. As one decreases, the other one decreases. Or as one increases, the other one what? Increases. That is positive. Negatives that they move in what? Opposite direction. One increases, the other one decreases. One decreases, the other one increases. Or they may be what? Zero correlation, meaning there's no correlation at all. Now, you will not be able to see this because it's somehow faint, but the table here is a hypothetical data on age of certain respondents, and then their self-esteem. I have here 20 respondents, this is the observation, and then their age, and then their self-esteem. Age from 39, 45, 29, 42, 19, down to 52, and then self-esteem. How self-esteem. self-esteem here measured from 1 to 5. And then we want to see the correlation. What is the correlation between somebody's age and then self-esteem? As I'm aging, do I still have that confidence to start? Do I still have that boldness to stand? You know, am I still confident of myself as age? Does age has anything to do with the self-esteem? And so when we do the correlations, I know the calculations, I arrive at what? The figure here is 0.79. 0.79. That is the relationship between age. This tells you that there is a positive correlation between age and what? Self-esteem. 0.79 is a very strong correlation. At times, correlation can be weak. It can be negative. It can be 0.1. It can be 0.2, 0.3. You know, you said there's a weak correlation. And at times, it can be 0, meaning there's no correlation at all. Okay, now let's move. Time is going, time is moving. So now I'm going to move in the speed of light because I have 16 minutes and I have to finish this. Don't worry, we will finish. Now, statistical significance. This is important for you in the test of hypothesis. And like what I demonstrated the other time, using a statistical analysis to see the, the relationship rice output has with interest rates, exchange rates, inflation, and the rest of them. They are p-value, that is probability value. The probability value will tell you whether there is significant relationship between one variables or the other. And we have what we call correlation table. And in most statistical analysis, we use the confidence interval, of 0.05. Normally 95% confidence interval, you can set it. Now, what happened? The other one that we did, the critical value of this correlation at this level, and degree of freedom. There's no statistical table. In statistics, you know this one is 0.44, and then we have what? The computed value that we have is 0.79, and we say that it must be larger than the critical value. What was the critical value? 0.7, 0.44. That is the value tabulated on the table. And our calculated value is what? 0.79. And then what is the conclusion? Since the computed value is greater than this, the conclusion is that there is a significant correlation between age and self-esteem in our data. Even though this is a hypothetical data, but we must have to do this before you arrive at a conclusion. You cannot just say that, self-esteem and age, there's a correlation. At what level did you test it? At what level did you arrive at the conclusion? What are we saying? Because the computed value is greater than the tabulated value, we accept that correlation exists between age. If it is the other way around, that the calculated value is less than tabulated value, we will agree that there is no correlation. There's no correlation. And then, if there's hypothesis, what you will set as a hypothesis will be that your null hypothesis will be that there is no significant relationship between age and self-esteem. Then the alternative hypothesis will be that there is a significant relationship between age and what? Self-esteem. So with this now, we can accept the fact that there is what? Significant relationship between age and what? Self-esteem. It's on that basis you will accept your hypothesis, null or alternative. Another tools of analysis that we use for test of hypothesis is what we call t-test, which compare the means between two groups, like a comparative studies. You want to study the poverty level in Benue and Nasarawa State. You want to study the two groups, IDPs in Benue and IDPs in Nasarawa State. or IDP in a Tollgate and IDP in another place. You say you used what t-test. It compared the means between two groups. The same group at the 2 points in time, or a group and what a hypothetical mean. You use the way you want to compare the means of two groups to determine if there is one significant what difference. Is there significant difference in the poverty status of the internal displaced person living in Benue and Nasarawa State? So you can learn whether these differences are reflective of a real relationship or whether they are what statistically significant. When you want to compare, of course, we can also compare the mean scores. Now, we deploy this online lesson, right? At the end of the day, if I have another group of MSc students that are receiving lectures face-to-face in a class, at the end, I can compare your performance, whether there's a significant difference in the performance of students on online lectures and on students that receive this lecture face-to-face. I take that one as a traditional teaching, and then this one as what? Online. So you use what? T-test to compare the scores of students. And this t-test, we have that you have pair sample t-test. You use pair sample t-test to compare means, two means for the same sample tested at two different times or under different conditions. You know, two means. For instance, I give you a pretest, and at the end of the class, I decided to give you what? Post-test, the same people. So at the end, I can compare your score because you are what? You are the same group, but at different times. Let me know whether differences exist between your performance at the pre-test and then the performance at what? At the post-test. You know, what will be my null hypothesis? My null hypothesis will be that the two times or under the two conditions are the same in the world population, that there's no significant difference in the mean score of the students that you are in a class now. And an independent sample tutors, what do? We compare the means of two separate samples. The two separate samples tested under different conditions. You know, for instance, I can compare, you know, the performance of men and women in that same class. These are two separate individuals, you know, or extroverts and introverts. I will state on my hypothesis that there's no significant difference in the means of these two groups, male or female. It may be one sample t-test when you have external benchmark to compare mean that is known or not. The means are different. The means are all different. Now, this is two sample t-tests like I talked about, comparing the performance of a female. If you take this one that this is MSC class, you know, their performance in 805. Look at this, the male, the female, and the male, 90, 50, 95, 60. This sample is biased. Can you see? The female here have the highest score, more than the male counterpart. The performance of female here are more. Look at the hypothesis. The known hypothesis is that there is no difference between male and female students' performance. And the alternate hypothesis is that there is difference between what? Male and female student performance. So what do? I use two sample t-tests to arrive this is the mathematics of it. This is the mathematics, the calculations that I will not bore you with, you know. And what happened? You see the t calculated, and then you see the t calculated is what? 2.858. Why the tabulated t value, the statistical value at this degree of freedom, you know, at this degree of freedom is what? 2.36. Look at this, see the decision. The t calculated is greater than t calculated. So what happened? We reject the null hypothesis, meaning that there is a significant difference in the performance of male and female students. Meaning that this gender has what influenced the score. Look at it. There's a difference. Ordinarily, when you see, you know that there's a difference. But you have to subject this to statistical tests for you to arrive at the conclusion. This is what we are saying. And this is what is important. What other tools of analysis? One question you need to ask yourself is this: whether your sample size is big enough for you to query. That is what researchers worry about when you are dealing with this. Is my sample size big enough? Have I used the correct statistical test? Have I reduced the likelihood of making whether type 1 error or type 2 errors? When something is correct and you say is wrong, when something is wrong, you say it's correct. Is there likelihood of committing those error? Can somebody generalize on your result? Can your result, your method be reproducible? Measurement things, are they right? Now, we talk of qualitative data, all this one, qualitative data analysis. I'm going to rush this. We say analysis of qualitative data, like test data from interviews transcript, like the content analysis that I talked about the other time, you know, heavily dependent on the research analytics and integrative skill, and you having knowledge of the context where data is collected. For instance, what I said last time, I want to analyze the reportage on gender-based violence, compare it, that is the media report, with what is on ground. I'm doing content analysis of the information in the newspapers. And then I have to specify to what extent, how many years, what are the media, is it print and electronic media that I'm going to use, you know, for me to arrive at the conclusions to see whether what is on ground is actually true, you know, and is in line with what has been reported, you know. So I have to do that. So how do I analyze a vast set qualitative data, you know, of participants? You say thematic analysis, content analysis, grounded analysis, you know. You can even use the use of a recording, you know, secondary documents, and all of this. The ones that concern us mostly is content analysis. If at all you want to see, you want to do at all, and photo voice. You also have hermeneutic analysis, social network analysis, discourse. All these are semantics that are not necessary for us. Thematic analysis. Here we identify things of common idea across our data. This will help us determine shared meaning or significance of an event, provide a more complete understanding of concept or idea by you exposing different dimensions of the topic, exploring a range of values, belief or perception in a given, you know, common things that we do here that help us identify, you know, in the world that, let's say you want to study the empowerment of older adults, you know, in assisted living facility. Then what do? You interview those adults using those facilities, you know. Then those facilities, depending on those facilities, you have the response that a number of participants are talking about the importance of maintaining connection to previous aspects of their life, maybe church, maybe mosque, maybe veterans of foreign wars, post-war, their prayer book. those facilities in place, does these things help them to shift away from their way of life, what they are used to? You know, and how does this facility run? Did it help them? You know, in advanced country, they have facilities where, hello?
No, Constant. So.
Make it move well, I mean. You know,
Go front.
so we likely end up with a handful likely to of certain idea or takeaway that become what they see. Content analysis. In content analysis, most like what you do in thematic analysis, you are able to use content analysis to analyze the qualitative data, disclosing the artifacts that you have sampled and looking for similarity across, like the newspapers, reports, analysis over some times that I talked about. You greater emphasis on the content analysis. And in most cases, it is done like this. You have to develop a new advocacy training for community members to evaluate your training. You want to analyze the variety of products they create, maybe after the workshop, like written product, letters to a representative, community newsletter, audiovisual, interview with leader, photo hosted, and all of them. So you analyze all this information either from newsletter, from the letter from a community representative, either from the audiovisual product, and all of them, and see whether there is a relationship between them. You and I know that newspapers reports differ, newsletter reports differ. So when you're doing the analysis, know this, that there may be variation. And what is it? You say it's a systematic analysis of the content of a text, who says what, to whom was it said, why was it said, what extent, what effect it has. The text that we analyze are newspaper stories, financial reports, blog postings, online reviews, and the rest of them. The one that's appropriate for you. The process is not random. Why we say it's not random is that you intentionally decided to choose it. It might be newspaper report I want to use. It might be financial reports I want to use. So you choose the one that is appropriate. This also is content analysis. In photo voice, what we use, like in community-based participatory research, you gather people together and then take their photographs narrated by community member, as opposed to outside, somebody coming from outside. When you come there, what is the problem? And here, what happened here that we use a photographic documentation of their everyday life, and then you record that photographic documentations. Now will help you to record the needs of your respondents, and then with that, now you can promote a dialogue. It's like a case study whereby you have this, these respondents gathered together, and then they tell you their needs, and then it's recorded. The pictures are taken. It helps to encourage actions and then inform what policies. The goal is to enable people to record and reflect their community strengths and concerns, also their community needs and concerns. It promotes critical dialogue. It promotes knowledge about important issues through large and small group discussion of a photograph. Pictures tell the story. It tells the story. When is there that people see? Of course, if you are conversant with what happened in the world yesterday, we know of the crash that happened. That flight from India to London, the wreckage. We saw the wreckage. One man and his wife and 3 children, they've gone. So what are you trying to accomplish with photo voice analysis? It's an approach to qualitative research that combines the stage of gathering data with use visual and narrative data. The aim is to produce some kind of desire, changes with and for the community of participants. Hello? Are we tired? Don't worry, I just have a, example. I'm close to the end now than before. Example of photo voice is an example of this one by, if you like, you can Google this and read. There was this researcher, Mitchell Committee, who combined photo voice and environmental justice approach to engage the Native American community, Isheme, around the significance and the implication of water for the tribe. And what happened? They see what was on ground with photo evidence. You also see what is on ground actually reflects what these people are suffering. Designed to help raise awareness and support what? Advocacy to improve access to and quality of that for this group. This is the research that was done, and you know, you actually know this is content analysis. After participatory and community-based research transition, community members have their own expertise they bring to the research, and the rest. What is the benefit? Desired and tangible changes for participants. These changes can be legislative actions, raising community awareness, changing some organizational practices. Who is it that want to talk? Thank you. Even though you are helping me to talk, you can now talk. Thanks so very much. Appreciation. Thank you. This is the end of this class. At the end, I have to rush because of time.
Thank you very much.
Also,
Thank
you look tired. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So the next phase now. Hello.
Hi.
Let me stop sharing. Hello. Let me stop sharing slide. You can stop the recording. You can stop the recording. You can stop the recording.
Thank you, sir.
Christabel, I'm seeing you for the first time in this class. 2 days now. I'm seeing you for the first time. Christabel Echeladi. I'm seeing you for the first time. And some of you, even Musa, I'm reading you from the first time. Yes, Manasseh.
Yes, sir.
Manasseh, your hand is off.
Yes, I have a question, a concern, sir.
Okay, let me know your concern.
We talk about negative and positive
correlation.
Not correlation. I think we were looking at the skew. The skew.
Okay, skewness.
Yes,
that's
when we talk about skewness.
Shape of distribution.
Yes. Now, you spoke about employment.
Yes.
And then you talk about religion and tribe. In case somebody is employing people and you taking people from his religious aspect of the country or for the employment, or is making use of his tribe more, that is a negative skill, which is accepted. And then you never took the negative skill.
That is, he does that positively to suit, to help his people. But the other people is a disadvantage. You understand? Get what I'm saying? There's an employment. And this tribe now, they have somebody who is their head. So, okay, you have let's say 10 slots for people to be employed. And this man is of tribe A. And because he's of tribe A, the 10th slot now, he decided to employ 7 from his tribe, leaving how many? 3 slots.
3.
So this 7 now is positively skewed towards right? Why the other why now is negatively skewed towards the other tribes that do not have this advantage. That's what we're saying.
Okay. All right. Very understood now. Thank you so much.
Okay. Austin. Yes, Austin. Hello. Can we stop the recording? Can you stop the recording so that it will not be in excess? Can you stop recording? Austin, I thought Austin wanted to talk.
Echeladi's hand is up.
Yes.
I just want to appreciate for that.
Austin raised his hand before, but he has declined. So
Sir?
Okay.
I'm
Ladi, over to you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Why you remove the leaf all like this?
Good afternoon, Ladi. Madam Ladi.
Yes. Sorry, sir. I was here because you mentioned me, sir. I was here a day first today, but yesterday I couldn't join.
You know me, I engaged you yesterday. My schedule was yesterday and today. That is why I said it. Thank
Okay,
you.
yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can put your hand down. Okay. Okay, now you will see my hand is still the way it is. My hand is still the way it is. You see my face. This is me in another location today. Today I have to run to one filling station and hide so that we don't have problem of power. My hand is still there. And I told you the restriction now. I will not shave. I will not have a coat. I will not shave until the hand is healed. So for now, I'm still one. I'm disabled in a way. No problem. This is me.
Sorry
We are
about
going
that.
to meet. No challenge. We are going to meet face to face during. I said we should stop this recording. No, we should stop recording so that the bite, will not be excessive. We will meet during revision and face to face. And some of you that are my students, the project, we are talking of a research. So you have to start that research now. You have to start the research, get your topic, and let's meet, and see how we go about it. Because everything has time. Everything has time. So on this note, let me thank you for your contribution, for your participation, for coming, for your attention, for observations, for all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And God bless you.
Thank
See
you, sir.
Bye-bye.
God bless you too. I wish you God's very speedy recovery.
Thank you, sir.
Sir? Hello, sir. It's gone. It's gone. So, man,
This one is not governed. This massive people that are fighting.
Yes. Yeah, you can end the meeting now.
Hello.
Classroom, can you just give us the notes, the slide, so that you send it to us?
Because we discuss that with the lecturer then.
Classroom, send him so that you give us the notes.
Any announcement?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There are some few announcements.
Okay.
Okay, so last week's recording was not sent to us, and then this week I am trying. I'm still people to the recording so that we can when we can. Then we also meet with the lecturer to help us. If I heard him very well, talking about assessment, I don't know how to assess when he's talking about. So Annie has given us. So Annie has given us two assignments. So and then all of over 40. So I would also like us to intend to do with us in that. Then lastly, beautiful request. Can we have a class in the morning that we can teach ourselves how to use Zoom, particularly in muting and unmuting ourselves? We have constant people who don't mind. Any day, anytime you see them, they are on. Even when you mute them, they will mute themselves. So tomorrow morning by 8:30.
Okay, there's no class tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow is Saturday.
Hello. Are we done with? Are we done with this course today?
Yes.
You say?
SST 8 so far is done today. SST 8 is so far is done today. I think we are waiting for the notes of Dr. Mrs. Annie and this dog.
Okay, it's all right.
So by Monday, I think we'll be taking on.
Okay, Adamson.
Please.
Adamson, goodness. John. You have not with us for some time. Alpha.
Yeah. I've been on transit. I've been on transit. I've been on transit. Sorry about that. And it's like the today class was very interesting. Oh.
Yes. Your mic was.
I've been on transit. It's not the very moment.
Okay.
I've been
you unmuted your mic.
I've been in and out. That's why.
It's okay, no problem.